Well, Democratic voters have been pretty energized this season. They haven't hidden it. They spent the last 6 months setting fire to things. Fast food franchises, courthouses, stores, destroying retail outlets, small businesses, terrorizing people in their homes, stealing everything they can get their hands on. Why do they do this? Because they're mad they're not in charge. Now, you're not allowed to say any of that, even though it's obvious. You're supposed to pretend, along with Michelle Obama, that it's Donald Trump's fault and hidden white supremacists probably working with the Russians in places like Washington, D.C. They voted 96% for Hillary. Yeah, it's the white supremacists, of course. But in places like L.A. and Portland and Seattle, business owners know exactly what's going on, and they know exactly what Joe Biden's voters will do if their candidate loses. So they spent the weekend getting ready for the violence of the Democratic left, as if they were preparing for a Category 5 hurricane. Watch.
Ahead of Election Day, businesses in downtown Los Angeles are boarding up as a precaution. Some downtown stores have been boarded up for weeks.
The university's Office of Student Rights and Responsibilities releasing this campus advisory to students, asking them not only to plan for increased traffic, but other personal safety tips. Don't allow strangers into buildings. Take shelter if there's a disturbance. All of this due to what's being called possible unrest near the university on or around Election Day.
Many businesses are preparing for what we saw in 2016 and even earlier this summer. In their preparation, more businesses are hiring security.
Like other nearby Lodo businesses, Zach Monks has already boarded up windows ahead of Election Day. His store has been looted 4 times in the last 5 months. He estimates thieves made off with about $140,000 worth of merchandise.
Unrest. Who's causing all this unrest? Kind of a mystery, isn't it? Take a look at the places it's happening. Portland, Washington, D.C., Seattle. Look at the places it's not happening. Let's see. Waco, Texas, the west coast of Florida, Redding, California. Notice a theme here? It's the places where there are no conservatives at all that are bracing for unrest. Because it's not conservatives who are doing it. No, it's not white supremacists. It's not the Russians. It's Joe Biden voters who are, in effect, threatening to burn it down if they don't get what they want. So the same people who are telling you that Trump will never accept the outcome of the election are implying that they won't accept the outcome of the election. It doesn't go their way, and they will commit violence. Everyone knows this. Everyone's pretending it's not true. Let's stop the lying. In New York City today, Joe Biden's voters made it very clear what they plan to do.
Only good cop the dead cop!
Only good cop is a dead cop! Your mother! Grandparents! I hope all of your children get raped and killed! You're a disgrace!
Yeah, just well-balanced, emotionally healthy people. Hope all of your, we're not even going to repeat what they said. You saw it on the screen. It's just absolutely too ugly. You're definitely not going to see it on other channels because they've suppressed it. They don't want you to see that. Drew Hernandez doesn't care what they want. He waded into the crowd and shot the video you just saw, and a lot more like it. He's an investigative reporter at the Tatum Report. We're happy to have him on tonight. Drew, thanks so much for coming on. Tell us what you saw.
So today, Tucker, thank you for having me again. Today, Antifa and Black Lives Matter were trying to counter-protest the Trump caravan that was actually supposed to be at the park with Madison Square Park, but it turns out they actually went to the Cuomo Bridge to demonstrate the Trump supporters. So it seems like Trump supporters kind of finessed Antifa and Black Lives Matter today, which is pretty embarrassing. But when they found that out, Tucker, Black Lives Matter and Antifa began to mobilize through Chelsea to an overpass. When they finally got to the overpass, there was a lot of infighting. Some of the more radical leftists and Antifa and BLM insurrectionists couldn't decide which way the revolution was going to go. Some noticed a police presence and they were like, maybe we should go away because we don't want to get arrested. But some actually wanted to stand their ground because they're fighting against scary fascist Nazis. So as they began to, they began to march again, they were marching down the street. Some of them actually were getting really violent. The police, NYPD, gave multiple warnings to disperse peacefully. They didn't listen. They stood their ground. A big brawl broke out between the NYPD and some of the insurrectionists, Antifa and Black Lives Matter, and there were multiple arrests, and then that's what you see in the footage, and it's pretty ridiculous.
Well, it is ridiculous, and only because of you and people like you do we know who these people really are. It's not just unrest, it's individuals with a specific agenda terrorizing the rest of the country. And I just want to thank you again, Drew Hernandez, for being brave enough to record this for history's sake. Truly, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Tucker. And let it be known, let the world know, Tucker, that Antifa is now on record with video evidence calling for the murder and rape of children. So thank you, and let that be known. This is what we're voting against.
That's who they are. This is not a third world country. We need to take it back from these animals, and that's what they are. Great to see you.